Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're unpacking a really fun, fascinating geographical anomaly. It's essentially a data-driven mystery that stumps almost everybody. We are on the hunt for one very specific, incredibly elusive record holder on the map of the United States.
Okay, let's dive into this. The big question: which US state actually has the most time zones? You probably have a state in mind right this second, right? Well, let's see if the geographical data actually aligns with your intuition, or if you're in for a surprise.
Section 1. The giant state myth. Because, as it turns out, size really isn't everything.
When faced with this question, our human logic naturally drifts straight toward geographical size. It just kind of makes sense. A wider landmass should theoretically cross over more time zones. Naturally, people bet on the absolute heavyweights, like Texas because of its overwhelming size, or California with that immense coastal stretch. But the data throws a total roadblock here. Neither of these geographical giants is the correct answer.
Now, what's really interesting about this first suspect is that number one, we tend to think of Texas as sprawling endlessly across the map, so you'd assume you'd have to adjust your watch multiple times if you were driving across it. But the reality is actually much simpler than that.
Despite its massive footprint, Texas sits entirely, and I mean entirely, within just one single time zone, Central Time. Logistically, that makes things super easy for them, but it officially eliminates our biggest suspect. If you guess Texas, don't worry, you're absolutely in the majority. But the search continues.
Section 2. The Florida Panhandle Split. Let's look at dividing the clocks.
Since sheer size isn't the magic answer, we have to look at states that actually intentionally split their clocks. Enter Florida and the number 2. Florida proves that a state doesn't have to be the widest on the map to divide its time up. It actually spans 2 different zones, which definitely escalates our investigation.
Here is exactly how that split works geographically. The vast majority of the state runs perfectly fine on Eastern Time, but the Central Time Zone slices right in and completely separates the Panhandle. Think about that for a second. That means someone commuting just across that invisible line has to factor a whole hour time change into their daily drive. It's a pretty fascinating quirk of local geography, for sure.
So the crucial point is, even with its uniquely split clocks, Florida still isn't the ultimate answer to our question. We've officially eliminated the massive landmasses, and we've crossed off the split clock states like Florida, which means there is a true outlier still out there on the map.
Section 3. The Ultimate Time Zone Mystery. It's time to meet our final suspect.
Let's move through the historical clues and see how this all builds. To find our final elusive state, we actually have to look backward in time. Check this out. Prior to 1983, our mystery state was chopped up into 4 completely separate time zones. 4! It was an absolute logistical nightmare for transportation and business. Then, in 1983, a massive shift consolidated most of that chaotic territory into just one zone. However, fast forward to today, and this state still officially runs on 2 distinct time zones.
And this brilliantly illustrates the definitive, undeniable facts we've gathered from the source data. Let's lock them in. Fact 1. This specific state historically possessed a staggering 4 separate time zones. Fact 2. A massive geographical consolidation took place in 1983 to fix that mess. And fact 3. Today, in the modern era, it maintains exactly 2 active time zones.
So what does this all mean? Well, we've debunked the giant state myth and we've mapped out a highly specific historical timeline. Based on these undeniable clues, a wild history of 4 zones, a massive 1983 consolidation, and exactly 2 zones today, can you guess the mystery state? I challenge you to take the facts you've just learned, look it up, and see if you can piece together the final answer yourself. It's like a giant puzzle. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.